Hello, everyone. We are here today with Steve Deeks, professor at University of California in San Francisco. You just held a lecture on HIV cure. Can you tell us a little bit why do we need an HIV cure in 2025?
Well, treatment is great, right? Actually, I think many people, maybe most people, don't need a cure, right? They take these pills once a day or get a shot every couple months, and it works forever. And people have a normal life, and U equals U, and it's great. But not everyone is doing that, right? So about 30% of the world's population right now is not on therapy, or if they're on therapy, it's not working. A lot of people have stigma. A lot of people have drug resistance. A lot of people have side effects. So for those people, I think we need something different. And even people who are taking pills and having no problem, do they really want to do this for, the next 50, 60 years, right? And so, sure, they would love to be cured. So a lot of people want a cure, but some people need a cure because they really aren't responding to treatment. And but the main reason why we're doing cure work is global health, right? We have a massive investment in getting HIV therapy to everybody around the world. And that investment is dropping as we speak, right? The U.S. government, for example, is investing less in global health. USAID, which distributed lots of HIV medicines, was dismantled. And so right now we're seeing in sub-Saharan Africa, thousands and thousands of people who are actually going off therapy because they just can't access it. And I think that because of the inability to really deliver these expensive drugs around the world forever, we need something like, we need to basically just cure people.
With respect to what is happening in sub-Saharan Africa and other countries, what do you think about, like, you coming from the US and we as people or countries in the developed world, is there a risk of a HIV resurgence of somehow? Are we ready to kind of like face something new with HIV, so to speak?
No one knows, but this is not going to be good. I mean, it's some of the countries which have lost funding and support had the capacity to basically fill in, but many countries did not. It happened too abruptly, right? If we had actually taken our time and give countries enough time to sort of come up with a plan B, but that didn't happen. And so, I'm not an expert. But I talk to friends who work on the front line, and yeah, there are countless number of people who are stopping therapy as we speak because they just can't access it. And what's going to happen is the viral load is going to rebound. They're going to transmit the HIV to others. They're going to progress. They're going to get AIDS and so forth.
You talked in your speak about something called broadly neutralizing antibodies. Why is that different from other types of cure strategies that we heard so many times before?
Yeah, we don't really know why. All I can tell you is it's working a little bit. We've been looking at vaccines and all sorts of stuff for HIV cure, and nothing really has worked in people. Some of the stuff works in monkeys, but not in people. But that's changing. If you give people antibodies to HIV, it appears that the antibody binds to the virus, and you got these complexes that circulate in the body, and they can turn on the immune system. And by turning it on in a controlled manner, you generate the immune system becomes able to control the virus. We don't really know the mechanism, lots of theories, but we've done this now in several studies, and I think most people have looked at the data, say, there's something's happening here. It appears to be working. It's not a cure yet, but it's going in the right direction.
So looking into the crystal ball, what is your take on when will we have a cure for HIV?
Well, that I'm not going to answer. We're not going to, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's going to be many years. And it depends on, depends on whether or not funding continues. It's under threat. It also depends on whether we can get industry involved. Some companies are involved, but not enough. So hard to make predictions, but we have viable pathways, right? We have these antibodies leading to better T cells. And if we know that T cells work, well, there are other ways to do this with gene therapy that would be much easier. So, I always compare this to like early days of HIV therapy, right? Back when we had AZT and 3TC. That stuff, it worked okay. It didn't work great. But when we proved that there was a possible pathway here, it encouraged others to try to make it better. And that's where we are now with cure and the antibodies.
Thank you so much.